The Bible is often criticized as a patriarchal book. But hidden in its pages are women who overthrew kingdoms, saved nations, outsmarted generals, and changed the course of history. Their stories deserve to be told. These weren't passive supporting characters. They were warriors, judges, spies, business owners, and prophets. In a world that silenced women, God consistently chose them to do the impossible. Woman 1, Deborah. She was a judge, a prophet, and the commander-in-chief of Israel's army. When the male generals were afraid to fight, Deborah led the charge herself. The general Barak refused to go to war unless Deborah went with him. She agreed but warned him that the glory of the victory would go to a woman. And it did. Woman 2, Esther. An orphan Jewish girl who became queen of Persia and single-handedly prevented the genocide of her entire people. She risked death by approaching the king uninvited. Her uncle Mordecai's words to her echo through history, "Who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this?" She was born for the crisis. Woman 3, Rahab. A prostitute in Jericho who risked everything to hide Israelite spies. She chose faith over fear, and she's listed in the genealogy of Jesus Christ himself. Her story proves that your past doesn't disqualify you from God's purpose. A prostitute became a hero of faith. If God can use Rahab, he can use anyone. Woman 4, Ruth. A foreign widow who could have gone home to comfort. Instead, she chose loyalty. Where you go, I will go. Her faithfulness led her to Boaz, and she became the great-grandmother of King David. Ruth didn't wait for rescue. She worked in the fields. She took initiative. She approached Boaz with courage. Her story teaches that blessing follows boldness and faithfulness. Woman 5, Jael. When the enemy general Sisera fled from Deborah's army, he hid in Jael's tent. She offered him milk and a blanket. Then she drove a tent peg through his skull while he slept. Woman 6, Abigail. Married to a fool named Nabal, she single-handedly prevented David from committing murder. Her wisdom, timing, and diplomacy saved lives and won David's admiration. Woman 7, Mary, the mother of Jesus. A teenage girl from a nothing town who said yes to the most terrifying assignment in human history. She carried God in her body and raised him in her home. She watched her son be crucified. She stood at the cross when most of the male disciples had fled. Her faith endured the worst possible suffering a mother could face. Woman 8, Mary Magdalene. Freed from 7 demons, she became Jesus' most devoted follower. She was the first person to see the risen Christ, the first evangelist of the resurrection. Woman 9, the Proverbs 31 woman. A business owner, real estate investor, clothier, and philanthropist. She wasn't a doormat, she was an empire builder who feared the Lord. Woman 10, Hagar. A slave used and discarded by Abraham and Sarah. Alone in the desert with her dying child, God saw her. He gave her a promise. She became the only person in Scripture to give God a name, El Roi, the God who sees. Every one of these women faced impossible circumstances. None of them had easy lives. But every one of them proved that God uses the overlooked, the outcast, and the underestimated. Subscribe for more Bible stories. These women's stories aren't ancient history, they're a message to every woman watching. You are seen, you are powerful, and your story matters.